Jolly good choice.
The Opossum Who Didn't Want to Play Dead. Created and written by Taylor Brandon. In a field of apple blossoms, in a tree lived some opossums. One of the opossums was named Little Fred. He lived with his mother and his Uncle Ted. It was September the 6th, an important date. It was Fred's first day of school. He didn't want to be late. Fred headed for school by way of a dirt path. He wanted to learn writing and math.
"I'll learn," he said, "why things work the way they do. And I will also make a friend or two."
School was everything he had hoped it would be. Learning was as easy as A, B, C. He made many friends. He made his share. He became pals with every animal there. Fred couldn't have asked for cooler buddies. They were just as cool as his studies. Susie the skunk had a warning stripe for all to see. Earl the flying squirrel flew from tree to tree. Randy the porcupine's quills stuck out all over the place. June the raccoon had a cool mask covering her face. Time flies when one is having fun. Soon Fred's first day of school was done. Fred and his pals gathered outside. He was wearing a smile a mile wide. Fred said,
"I don't mean to boast, but this school thing is the most."
But something was about to happen that would change his mind. It was Max, the Weasel, a worse bully you couldn't find. Max chose whom he would pick on carefully. Those with natural defenses he would let be. He passed on the skunk and the porcupine named Randy. He said, "Not unless I have a nose plug or suit of armor handy." Max laughed. "Those are animals to avoid at all cost. With them, before the battle begins, it's already lost." Max said, "But the one wearing that silly smile, to pick on him just might be worth my while." With visions of milk money dancing in his head, Max headed straight towards Little Fred. Max shoved Fred and said, "You're gonna listen to what I say, and you'll start by giving me your milk money every day. And if you don't, your health insurance better be up to date. The hospital isn't cheap, and think how long they'll make you wait." Max waited for an answer from Little Fred. Our pal did what opossums do best. He played dead. Getting this one's money is like taking candy from a baby. And when I say that, Max laughed, I don't mean maybe. Max told Fred, "I'll see you tomorrow morning, and if you're smart, you'll know what to bring." Fred's pals tried to make him feel better, but nothing could help the little Fredder.
"I was wrong about school,"
moaned Fred.
"It's not the best, but the worst instead."
Fred headed home with a sad and heavy heart, his self-esteem in tatters, and his confidence torn apart. Fred said school went well and left to lie down. But his mom wasn't sure, for Fred was wearing a frown. The next day, things were worse than they had been before. Spotting Max, Fred played dead on the floor. With the skill of a surgeon, Max separated Fred from his money. Chuckling, the Weasel thought that robbing Fred was very funny. But it was not funny for Fred. His future looked bleak. Max robbed and made fun of him every day that week. Fred kept pretending everything was all right. His uncle knew it wasn't, and spoke with him that night. Uncle Ted asked our pal what his sadness was about. It was at this point that Fred let it all spill out. He told how Max confronted him every day, and how it always ended in the same way. Fred said,
I keep pretending to be out like a light. I don't want to, but it feels so natural, so right.
Uncle Ted smiled. There's really no need to make a fuss. Opossums always play dead, and it works well for us. It's our way of getting ourselves out of trouble. Thanks to it, we've seen our lifespans double. And nobody was better at it than your Grandpappy Ben. When he did die, we all thought he was faking again. Then we noticed he smelled stronger than he usually did. I miss old Grandpappy. He was fun, and he loved to kid. Fred told his uncle,
I understand what you're saying, but pretending I'm dead is a game I'm sick of playing.
Uncle Ted sighed. Do what you believe is right. But remember, that doesn't mean forcing a fight. Leaving, Uncle Ted closed his nephew's door. He knew Fred's decision was going to be a chore. Uncle Ted sighed. Ah, to fake or not to fake? That's the decision which Fred must now make. That decision is big, but there'll be bigger ones yet. For the older we become, the larger our decisions get. Soon, it was time to see if Fred was going to play dead, or if he was going to stand up to Max instead. Fred told Max he wasn't looking for a fight.
But from now on, I'm standing up for what's right.
Fred stood his ground. He didn't blink. Max the Weasel didn't know what to think. Max knew Fred was no longer going to be easy prey. Doing what bullies do when confronted, he ran away. Fred raced home and told the news to his Uncle Ted. No longer would he be an opossum who played dead. The end. Click to subscribe. Visit back soon for our next adventure.